Taking a look at global markets in October, it was a great month for investors. We had global shares up 6%, and this was actually the best month for the Dow Jones since 1976. There were really three key things investors were focused on. Firstly, inflation. Secondly, third quarter earnings. And thirdly, China's National Congress, where the central government would meet to reaffirm their next leader and policy direction for the next 5 years. When it comes to inflation, it was actually a negative print that we had out of the US, showing that the stickier components of inflation are not going away, but the market reacted with bad news is good news. Effectively, the market believing that the endpoint for interest rates could be lower. As a result, the market was lower on the morning of that data coming out, but we actually saw markets rally 5.5% off those lows on the S&P 500, and that was the largest intraday swing we've seen since March 2020. When it comes to earnings, while earnings expectations had been lowered into the third quarter, we did see earnings grow on a year-over-year basis. However, while that is true broad-based for the market, all of that earnings growth was driven by the energy sector. And when we strip the energy sector out, broadly across the US market, earnings had fallen for the third quarter. Notably, what we got out of earnings season was that it was very weak for the largest US mega cap tech stocks. Outside of Apple, we saw meaningful underperformance versus the index from Google, Facebook, Tesla, and Amazon. And these companies underperforming the S&P 500 between 8 to 40% during the month, with the largest underperformers being Tesla and also Facebook. The third one being China's National Congress was also a negative development for markets. Effectively, with Xi Jinping consolidating his power, the hope of COVID-0 going away or any investor-friendly policy coming out soon was effectively squashed. So it's no surprise that China was one of the worst performing markets during the month, and investors effectively are applying a higher hurdle for investing in that country. When we take a look around the grounds for sectors and also regions, it was really the more cyclical sectors that did better, but most sectors did actually rise. So energy and the industrial sectors being the notable outperformers during the month. And then regionally, while most regions did rise, it was actually Asia being the only region that fell. And this was really driven by the region around China. So the three notable countries that underperformed during the month were China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, being those countries most affected from the National Congress in China and what that means for investors' appetite to invest in those countries going forward.